You're listening to Sports Grid Late Night with Gabe Morency on Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM Channel 204.
Late Night Anger Management class. This is Sports Grid. I am Morency, Sirius XM Channel 204, Sports Grid Radio Network's the loudest station in the nation. Here's for you overnight degenerate gamblers right now. Let's get some AFL talk in right now. Mick Aussie steps up and in. And Cam asked me today, how is Mick doing with the picks in the AFL? And I said, pretty good. Mick, you know what? You've had quite a few 7-2 weeks, 8-1 weeks. You're doing well. And then, you know, you haven't really had a horrible week, sometimes 500 and stuff. But like I told Cam, I said, the thing is with this league, once a week, man, there's always going to be at least one upset that's going to screw the parlay up, or as they say in Australia, a multi. Man, this league is tricky at times, Mick.
Yeah, Gabe, last week was maybe my worst week, and I said about 2 weeks ago, I said, you know, I think things are settling down. But what's happened is there's so many injuries, because last year with COVID, they had shorter quarters, and the season went about a month longer. So their off-season was shorter, and there's just so many more injuries. So this week is absolutely crazy, but I think I've got a few bets you might like.
There's a game going off right now, so I figured sort of cut you off. I just want to get it because this game's starting in like a minute, actually. It's good timing. Fremantle and Gold Coast. Fremantle and Gold Coast, Mick. What's your thoughts on this game? The game's basically a pick-em.
Oh, I keep away from it. I would have picked the Dockers normally, but they've got so many injuries. And Fife, the star, he is out. The Suns are coming off the bye, and they've got this Matt Rao kid back that's a superstar, but he's been injured. Well, he's back in. I just got a feeling the Suns might have more run, even though it's in Perth and the Dockers' home ground. I think the Suns might get up, but very, very close. I didn't bet it. I picked the Suns just, but keep away from it, I think. Way too tough to tell. Could be really, really close.
I'm going to take over 158.5. I'm putting it in. It's in. So a little late night action. So we're off and running. Here we go, Mick. Let's rock. Told you we're not screwing around here. We're not playing around. All right, so let's load up the rest of the games. So do you like the card this week? Do you like the picks this week? Are you confident?
Oh, not on the money line. No, I'm not. The first two games, the underdogs have won. Like, I woke up this morning and the Swans were 22-point favourite and they lost by 38. And then the Power Papsmeres lost at home to the Cats. And I fell out of bed this morning, went to turn the light on. So round 13, I don't know, be careful round 13. But I've got a couple later on I think we can do all right with.
Yeah, lucky 13, eh, Mick? That's what I'm saying. There's upsets all the time. So I'm having success with totals, though. That's why I'm like, screw it. I'll just bet the over this game.
Yeah.
So what about your Adelaide Crows and St. Kilda? Another game is basically a pick 'em. We just got to pick who's going to win a game. Who's going to win this game? St. Kilda, the Saints, or the Crows?
Oh, well, again, the Saints have got terrible injuries, and two of their players have gone back to Melbourne because Melbourne was in lockdown to have their wives are having kids. Crows got upset by the Magpies last week. I think the Saints are just decimated. I think the Crows might win that, even though they're terrible lately. But it's in Cairns. And you Americans say Cairns, as it's Kazali Stadium in Cairns, up in the top of Australia.
Yeah,
so they're playing around the place.
Yeah, I've called it Cards before. So it's Cairns, right? Yeah, but it's Cairns. Yeah, because what's the basketball team? The Can Taipans? What are they called?
Yeah, the Cairns, they say in America. Yeah, Cairns. It's a beautiful place, big holiday place, big tourist place where they go out and they hunt for the big fish, mate, the big marlin fish out there.
What it's called? So Cairns, Australia.
Yeah, I've been up there, and there's a beautiful place just north Port Douglas, like massive tourist place. Yeah, that's where they go out and they get the big marlin. You see it on TV where they sit on the edge of the boat and reel in those massive marlin fish.
So what's the deal, Mick? The Olympics going to Australia in 2032?
I don't know, mate, but I heard the Boomers, the men's basketball coach, talk today on radio, and if Ben Simmons and Joe Ingles play, they reckon they're a chance to win a medal in the men's Olympics basketball. I don't know if they're exaggerating, but they're pretty confident.
Settle down. Yeah, Ben Simmons, the pride of Australia. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I saw the Olympics. I don't know. I thought it was like, was it like, yeah, here it is. Brisbane, Australia. Mick, set to be named 2032 Summer Olympic host city. You don't sound excited.
I'm here. I lost you there for a minute. New 775 number.
Oh, there it is, Mick. Yeah, Mick. Settle down. Yeah, I was wondering where you were. Yeah, Mick. Brisbane, 2032, Mick.
Okay, well, hopefully, but the Olympic Games, they're just corrupt mob and money-making guys, the IOC, and I don't know how in the hell it's going to go ahead in Japan, but, well, they reckon they are.
I'll tell you, I know you know why the Olympics are, too. Brisbane is set to be named because they're the only candidate.
Everyone's sick of losing billions of dollars, eh?
Yeah, that's exactly it. No one bids for this stuff anymore. No one even wants it, right? It's like, we don't want to owe like $10 billion to you guys. So we're not doing this, right? So the only people who want to do it are China now all the time. But they can't have like the Olympics in China all the time. You know what I mean? So, like, you know what I mean? Even Japan like doesn't want it, right? And they're already stuck with it, and they're trying to get out of it. And it's like, you can't get out of it. It's in 2 weeks. When the Olympics start soon or whatever the hell it is. But and I said to you, the other news in Australia with the Olympics. One of their swimmers. Here, what's her name here? Madeline Groves. Australia's Madeline Groves drops out of Olympic trials due to sexism in the Australian swim program. And I like the exact, she used the word perverts. She said there's too many perverts in the sport. Australian swimmers withdrawn from the Olympic trials, citing misogynistic perverts in the sport. She filed a couple of complaints. Whatever. I guess a coach basically got caught leering at her, Mick. Right? She is kind of hot. Like, too. So I guess she said that it's gone too far, that a couple of coaches and people have made comments about her body and that she's felt uncomfortable. Now, like, the Australian program's flipping out. They want names. They're like, you can't just say this publicly and not name names. She says, screw you. I'm just dropping out. I'm not going to swim. So, yeah, it's getting ugly in Australia, Mick. I don't know. It sounds like you're supposed to tell me what's going on in Australia. I'm telling you. But let's get back to the AFL here. All right, here we go. Did we lose Mick?
That's pretty weak if a guy just looked at her and she's pulling out. I reckon she needs to toughen up. But yeah, I'd hate to be single right now. You can't even look at a girl or tell her she's cute anymore. You'll be in trouble, right?
Not if you're her coach. Not if you're the Olympic national team coach, Mick. No, you can't.
Well, we're not Michigan State. We're not Michigan State bloody gymnastics, are we?
That's a good point. I'll give you bravo. 5 points for Mick. Bring it. You think you know, but you don't. You say you will, but you won't. Late night anger management class. This is Sports Rage. Throwing it down on the Friday night freak show. Mick Aussie kicking it with us right now. All right, let's get to the AFL here because we got to get to the Euro. We got UFC. We got a lot of stuff to get to. All right, so St. Kilda and Mick's Adelaide Crows. Mick, you're saying the Crows, right? But you don't think it's a lock. They both suck. I get it. But you're saying the Crows over the Saints here tonight?
Oh, yeah. Look, that's a toss of the coin. I just think they might have more endeavour, and the Saints are decimated, and Saints are gone for the year as well. But I wouldn't bet that one. I think I got some better bets. But I did pick the Crows in the competition, but with very, very little confidence, Gabe.
All right, so let's get into, we got the worst team in the league now, the Kangaroos, North Melbourne Kangaroos, 1-10 on the season. They've won just one match, one game all year, 1-10. out of 11 games. They're taking on the Giants, Great Western Sydney Giants, who are 5-6 on the season. Although they're 3-2 in their last 5, they're battling right now. The top 8 teams make the playoffs, but they're in a little bit of trouble, Mick. They're 8 points back behind Richmond and West Coast right now. 20.5 points, point spread. What do you make of Great Western Sydney and North Melbourne?
Yeah, interesting. It's in Hobart, down the bottom of Australia at Bluntstone Arena. They're both coming off a bye, so they'll be fresh. GWS have got a few ins. Matt DeBoer, don't you love that name? Matt DeBoer. Toby Green, he's back in as well.
As Eddie Betts. Eddie Betts is the best name in sports. Eddie Betts.
Well, here we go. For the Roos, your mate, Jaden Stevenson's in because he come over from the Collywobbles and he's the one that got suspended for 10 games for betting. So he's one of your mates. And Robbie Tarrant is back in. Robbie Tarrant had a lump on his kidney. Get that, eh? So he's in trouble. He's back in. Now, I like the GWS Giants to win and cover, but I like the under on this one. Last week, out of 6 games, 3 games went over, 3 games went under. The week before, 6 games went over, 3 games went under. Not many games I go for the under, but this could be cold and wet down in Tasmania. These teams don't score a lot. Take the GWS to win, cover, and then go the under if you want to bet that as well.
I think they're going to cover as well. The Kangaroos are terrible, guys. As we stated, they're 1-10 in 11 games on the season. And you know what? Listen, they lost by 20 to St. Kilda, but St. Kilda aren't very good. Before that, they got smashed by Essendon and the Bombers, 141-69. They actually did win. They beat the Hawks 87-80. But when they lose, they generally get smashed. They lost 94-76, so 18. So you see, man, the odds makers aren't dumb, right? You know, they lose around 20 often. And then they lost to Melbourne, the Demons, by 30, but the Demons are the best team right now. But I think Great Western Sydney, and you know what, if you want to put in a parlay, I know there's always that parlay buster. And I tell you, Mick, you know why I know all this Australian stuff, too, is one of the sites that I watch, for whatever reason, bro, it's Australian. Every commercial I get is Australian, Mick. And, I'm getting, Australian Sports Center and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why I know. I can tell you guys it's $35 for the family meal over at Hungry Jack's, which is Burger King. And you know one thing I've noticed, Mick, it's a big deal in Australia. You guys really, really, really seem to be panicked about hair loss. Every ad, bro. Every second ad. There's this one ad. It's called for Mosh. You know that? And they got some former player. All right, this is for Mosh. Hair loss, hair loss, hair loss, hair loss. And they show these bald dudes over and over. And then the next commercial is like a competitor. It seems like being bald, going bald in Australia. What do they call it? Blokes. Yeah, don't be a bald bloke. Man, it seems like you guys don't want to go bald in Australia, Mick. Is that true?
Oh, probably. I mean, I'm living here in Edmonton, got a great girlfriend. I don't care about image or nothing. I just like a simple, stress-free life.
That's
but in Australia, yeah, it's who's who and the image, and everyone's into fitness and looking.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's what I was going to say, Mick.
Don't get me wrong.
It's pretty vain, isn't it? As far as looks and everything, Australia, is that the deal? It seems like it's very vain, like everything. You're right. It's a vain country. All right. Mick's throwing his own country.
Well, Gabe, you want to watch this show on Netflix? It's called Rake. It's a middle-aged lawyer in Sydney. I laugh my head off. He bangs a different chick nearly every show. He's a complete screw-up he does. He's a great lawyer. And it's inner city Sydney, and it's hilarious, mate. But it is. It's kind of the image of the politicians.
What's it called? Rake?
I'm getting a great. It's called Rake. R-A-K-E. 5 series.
Check it out.
Really, really funny, mate. I laugh my head off.
That sounds like a type of show I would like. Why not?
You would love it. Yeah, you'd love it, mate.
He's cokehead lawyer. Sounds good.
Yeah, he's just a complete mess up, this guy, but it's really funny, eh?
All right, so my West Coast Eagles in Richmond, and I was just giving you guys the standings here, so the top 8. And how many rounds this season, Mick? Because I know because of the pandemic it changes sometimes. So how many games you guys playing this year?
Yeah, each team plays 22 games, and then they have a bye. So this is an absolute top game, this one. Like, your Eagles, I went off them last week, and then they went out and won against Carlton with a lot of injuries. The Tigers, they went riot in the last 10 minutes against the Bombers. Now, this is the thing, Gabe. The Tigers were over in Perth to play the Bombers because of the COVID-19 problems in Melbourne. But get this, because of the ridiculous, stupid rules in Australia and the state's politicians just thinking they're great, the Tigers had to fly to Sydney and then fly back to Perth. So the game's in Perth, where your Eagles are home. They'll have 50,000 people at the Eagles Stadium. I've swapped my pick, mate. Because of the Tigers' travel and their players not as hungry, I think the Eagles might win. But this is one of my best bets of the week, and I know you love the overs. I think the over in this game might be the better bet of the week. Tigers, though, after round 12 in the last 3 years, they're 31-4. So the money line's tough. I did take the Eagles, but I think the over's the bet in this one.
163.5 West Coast and Richmond. That's a good game. Going to be a fun game. I lean with West Coast here. It's basically a pick 'em. And finally, Melbourne, the Demons, and the Cobbly Wobblies, Collingwood. Man, big favorites here. 30-point favorites, Mick. Melbourne. What do you make of this one?
Well, another interesting game because of the COVID and the crazy martial-type law premier in Victoria. The game's in Sydney. So 2 Melbourne teams that would have got a massive crowd in Melbourne. It's a holiday Monday, Queen's birthday, I think. They're going to play it in Sydney. Now, the Collywobble Magpies, Nathan Buckley, their coach, well, he resigned / was tapped / was pushed. So the Magpies might give a bit of an extra effort for the last game that Nathan Buckley, the legend players might perform for him. Demons to win, but I think the Magpies might cover, so it might be closer than we think. Our buddy Mason Cox is back in. Finally, the big ruckman. He hasn't played much this year, and they're the Collywobbles. They're your mate Pat McAfee's team, mate. So Magpies to cover, Demons to win. Clam Chowder's team.
Yeah, Magpies. I'll tell you what, McAfee was he's on SmackDown tonight, man. The guy can do it all. Football, wrestling. I wouldn't count him out. As far as playing AFL, hell of an athlete, McAfee. But I saw there's a new AFL kid, new guy. He just signed in the NFL, Mick. I forgot his name. I was like, damn. Did you see that? What team did he sign with? Let me get this. AFL guy. I don't know where I came up. I don't know where I came up with the millionaire guy, but I swear to God, I saw there was an AFL millionaire kicker in college football, bro. I remember the guy tweeted back. He goes, "I'm not a millionaire," whoever that guy was. But there was another dude. I'm telling you, man, AFL player.
Oh, there's a ton of punters come across. There's a coaching clinic down there, pro kick. They're doing well. Ton of college kids. They're doing really well.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. LSU always seems to have an Australian kid booting as a punter. I don't know. It was a pretty big team, though. Like I said, it was in the NFL type thing. I thought, whatever. I don't know. I see so many stories. It kind of flew under, stuff flies under the radar a bit. All right, Mick, so before we get you out of here, who are you pulling for, Mick? The Montreal Canadiens or the Las Vegas Golden Knights?
Well, come on, that's a silly question. I'm Canadian. I used to go on your radio station there in Montreal. Of course I'm taking the Canadian / Habitants. One of the guys laughed the way I said that. Habitants. I hope they do, mate. Kerry Price and the guys, I hope they do really well. And the other thing is, Gabe, this tennis, the French Open, they play on dirt. You'd think they'd be able to get a decent surface. They call it clay. I reckon it's dirt, mate. I can't get into the French Open like I do other tennis events.
Yeah, I like that dirt stuff. Mick Aussie, great job, Mick. Stay safe. Thanks for joining us.
All right, have a good weekend, guys.